The Top Knot Creative Show, the Top Knot Creative Show. Seeking super smart, super talented superheroes. How to be wow over the world and all around. The Top Knot Creative Show, the Top Knot Creative Show.
Hello everyone, this is Shantae Schrader and welcome to the show where we seek out the super smart, super talented, and basically the superheroes who are taking over the world and making it super wow. Today we are talking with Lindy Roach. She is the owner and photographer of Lindy Photography. And let me just tell you a few cute, quirky details about Lindy. She loves her job and it shows, and she is one of the best at what she does. And there's no doubt if you look at her website and check out her portfolio, she's a mom who loves her son. Another funny detail about her, she'll put ketchup on nearly everything. She was a sponsored skateboarder and snowboarder. She can speak, read, and write in Thai. She taught sea kayaking in Alaska. She's a true ginger, which we love. She loves to dine out. She loves cars. She met her husband playing Xbox, and we're going to find all about how she met her husband and what that meant to her. She loves fun. She has a lot of fun. She loves to cook. She's an expert shopper. She's a great pen pal and uses her antique typewriter weekly. She wrote a novel and is currently writing the sequel. She loves to travel, to camp, to text. She loves life. She loves coffee shop, but not coffee. We're going to find out more fun from this fun gal. So Lindy, without further ado, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
Well, there are so many things that I can ask after reading your bio.
Yeah.
You do sound like a lot of fun. But, first let's start out with your history in photography. Tell us how you got started and kind of what led to becoming Lindy Photography and doing this professionally.
Well, I think I was 14 and I was garage sale shopping and came across a old Konica with about 5 or 6 different lenses, and I snagged it for a really cheap penny and just learned by touch and by feel. And then I think around the age of 20 I started really taking it seriously, taking some private classes, and since then I have done one-on-one seminars and in group seminars with Mike Colon, Becker, Miwako, just really Dennis Reggie, just really huge names in the industry. And from there I just kind of developed my own unique feel and style and built a business.
Well, let's talk about that unique feel and style. How would you describe that?
Well, I set things up. I do set up most of my poses, but I keep it looking extremely candid. And I don't like setting anything up that really wouldn't happen in real life. So when you look at an image, I'm not the person that's going to take pictures of a bride inner tubing down a water park. It does not make sense. But I do set up things that when you look at them, it's going to hold a real memory, not, oh, that was a fun photo.
Right.
It's going to have a history behind it. They're spunky, they're unique. There's kind of a photojournalistic feel to it, but I tend to just become one of the crowd and one of the gang, one of the family. And so the pictures become incredibly natural because I can fit in with any group.
I love that, and that's definitely a talent. I love, I think one of the photos I saw was the groom looking at his cell phone and the bride giving him just a little love tap across the head.
Well, I never really set up the same poses for people. I know jumping's always popular, but I never set up the same setup. It always depends on the couple. I had a gal I met with her. She was wearing knee-high Converse in our first little interview. I think she probably dropped a couple cuss words in the first 10 minutes. And she shows me this picture of this gorgeous tree that was like de-rooted and like 10 feet above the ground on its side. And she's like, what do you think? And I said, well, how about we put you in it? And she says, KK. But I don't stick all my brides in trees. It really just, I have to, get to know you and make it fit you so that when you see your pictures, it's a real reflection of you and your life and your essence of the love you found.
Now, are these things that you think of in advance, or do they just come to you in the moment of what you
Oh, no, very in the moment. Whenever before weddings, sometimes I'll even kind of go through thoughts and ideas, but they end up never getting played out because on a wedding day, if you have a list you're following, you're getting pictures, not memories. And I really want my images not just to be beautiful, but to display your personality, why you're in love, why you're together, and what the day really was.
Wonderful. I love that. Now, tell us more about the services that you provide. You do a lot of weddings. Is that kind of where you like to remain, or do you do more beyond that?
I pretty much do everything. I've done people's pets. I love senior pictures. Talk about someone who's unabashed in front of the camera. That would be a senior. And infants are great too. I am not like Ann Geddes or anything. Uh-huh. I love my infant photography, but I do it very natural as well. So I don't curl a baby up in a pumpkin-shaped bowl or something. That's not me. So, but when it comes to weddings, that's my heart. If it doesn't involve people, it's really hard for me to feel the energy and the excitement. I just think that a life without friendship and companionship isn't worth living. And so when I see these pictures, these moments, real people, their connections with each other, it drives me. And weddings, that's like the essence of love in life right there.
Love it, love it. Now let's talk about what makes you you, and I mean things that I read, a sponsored skateboarder and snowboarder. You met your husband playing Xbox. I mean, clearly you have a lot of energy for just taking in life in an active sense. So tell us about you, so that will kind of give us the idea of how you've cultivated this style.
Well, growing up, I just had to have my hands in everything. Very eclectic personality, and in a lot of ways, I tend to be really juxtaposed as well. Such as, like, I could live at a coffee shop, but I don't drink coffee. But the smell and the atmosphere and the people listening, I love eavesdropping at coffee shops. Mm-hmm. I just really would touch and learn and do things, and I love how when you say I'm a sponsored skateboarder, it sounds present tense. No, I'm not that cool anymore. I can't skateboard. I broke way too many things, so I would never be able to be a photographer if I kept skating. So I love learning. I love touching. I love doing. I kind of have a really strong zest to be alive, so I don't slow down very much.
Love it. Now you have one son?
I have one child, yeah, he's 8.
Well, tell us about him.
Oh, that's like a 20-hour talk show right there. He is a genius, lightning bolt. Have you seen The Big Bang Theory?
Yes.
He's Sheldon.
Oh, love Sheldon.
He is quirky and awkward at times, and then at other times he's telling you about aerodynamics and the effect of Sub-Zero on the economy. He tested at almost 130 IQ recently, and he's just, he's too smart. He can argue and debate his way out of anything. Yeah. And it's not from me.
So how do you... I mean, I know Sheldon's mom on The Big Bang Theory. And I mean, how do you manage that? I mean, with I don't know if manage is a good word.
Yeah, that's a great word.
Okay.
It's taken months and months to figure out. The school systems would be really frustrated because he doesn't fit into a school environment well, and socially he either has a best friend or no friends. And all his really good friends are very adult people, and they're not kids his age. So when he says, oh, it's my birthday party, he's inviting, 30-year-old Aaron and Renee and all the people from, I guess, church community and my friends that he's grown to love. So I had to really seek out and find advocates for him in the school and the care system, and they wanted me to go down the road of there's something wrong with him, there's something wrong, and everyone was pointing to something else. He's autistic. No, he's ADD. No, he's ADHD. And every one of those paths was just a black hole. And when you went down them, it was like, nothing's wrong with my kid. He's just in his mind, he's a 12-year-old. And, I mean, he was testing at a 6th grade level in a lot of areas, and he's a 2nd grader.
Mm-hmm.
But then you just have to find the management. Recently, I finally figured out that he's allergic to gluten, and when I took him off of it and started changing life eating patterns around, he's almost 50% more calm. So it's a lot of management, but one-on-one, he's phenomenal, so I don't see a lot of the problems that the school system sees.
Mm-hmm.
But he's so charismatic and exciting. There's videos of him on my website, so you can get a feel of how crazy and exciting he is.
Lindy at Work and Play, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that video was made to really show what I'm like, what my child's like, how I interact with kids, and it talks a little bit about me and my husband, shows the family dynamic, and then it shows me with the bride and groom, so you can really get a feel of my function, how I work.
Yeah, I love that. I encourage everyone to definitely go to the website and look at that. Now, let's talk about your husband. Let's talk about you meeting him and what that meant and how that changed your take on what you do.
So I was in a very painful marriage for about 8 years, and it was just very emotionally abusive. And I am not a finger pointer. These are just facts. This is how it was. And when it got to the point that, like, physically I was actually dying because I was just in the hospital so much because of the illness, the vile surrounding of it all. Mm-hmm. And I finally I saw some things manifest in my child, and I said, that's it. I'm pulling the plug. I can't let my child hurt like this. And so I left immediately, and I played Xbox. I've played Xbox for years. And my Xbox name is Juan Vasquez, so I've got a little Mexican cognito in me. But when I'm playing, I met this group of friends, and my brother Richard from Seattle played with us a lot, and we just played every single night till 1 a.m. And in order to detox from my past marriage, I decided to take a trip to Seattle and spend some time with my brother, and subsequently all the Xboxers that I played with joined the group, and we all met in Seattle, and at that point, totally platonic friendship over online turned into love very quickly. And a few weeks after I was home back to Boise, Jeremiah, left his job in Arizona and moved to Boise to chase me.
Oh!
So, and his name was Shoddy, so Juan Vasquez and Shoddy hooked up.
Makes sense.
Yeah, naturally. And we have been in love ever since, and I can't see anything changing. And when I've been a wedding photographer for almost 10 years, and when I was taking pictures of weddings before, it was very vicarious. I understood love because I have never loved anything more than my child, but it was a very different kind of love, obviously. And when I took these pictures, it was vicarious. I cried after every wedding. And it wasn't sadness, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm so thrilled that people have this in life.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I met Jerry, and Jeremiah and I were married, and the happiness I had, the joy I had, I don't want to cry. It took over my life, and I didn't know life could feel this safe. And then when I'm shooting weddings now it's like I don't cry after the weddings. I'm like wiping my eyes in between pictures, and I always tell people it's the sun. No, I'm just squinting for the pictures. It's making me cry. But love is the greatest thing worth living for. And the men in our lives, they just take over and make everything happy and peaceful and safe. And especially for women like me that have had a child that crave that kind of safety and manhood in the home, get that patriarch leading, it's amazing to be able to preserve those memories for them, because not only did I before see how important it is, now I know and I feel how important it is. So it has been life-altering for me as a photographer to find love.
Wow. No, that's, I'm like blinking away tears just imagining, I mean, to go from that marriage to what was probably felt safer was to be apart from that, and then to kind of know, like, in your head, okay, it's probably supposed to feel safer with someone.
Yeah.
But still having to be courageous enough to take that step, and then to actually meet someone and have that realization that you can't figure out in your brain until it happens. That's breathtaking. That's amazing. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a good story. Plus, the men like it because it started with Call of Duty. So
I have to say, yeah, that would definitely be a good trigger word for any dude in the room.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about, a bride-to-be comes to you. What are a couple things that you would advise her to consider before she has the first conversation, before she even just, starts down that path of planning for a wedding?
I would say the very first thing is venues and photographers come before you pick your date. What happens is I book out almost 12 months in advance. Mm-hmm. I have June almost filled out for next year already. And so my advice is don't pick a date and then try and build a wedding around your date. Find your venue and the photographer you want, because those book out the fastest. And then once you have an idea of what kind of venue and what kind of art style you're looking for, build your wedding around that. That makes it so much easier to get exactly what you want. Mm-hmm. And most of the time your anniversary is going to fall on a weekday and you're going to celebrate on a Saturday anyway. So it really doesn't matter too much what number you get married on.
True. Very true. That's true. Moving forward, it will change a little bit. Yes. Now, if someone was looking to hire an expert in your field, photography, what would you suggest? If it's not you, if they can't get you, then what would you suggest that they always look for?
Well, I think the three biggest things are make sure you click, meet with them, go for coffee or whatever. And if it's easy to converse, if it's easy to talk to, if you feel like if you feel that connection, then you can trust them. Two is I would make sure you don't have to look through the whole thing, but make sure they have a sample wedding from start to finish so that you can see consistency. A lot of photographers in the field will have the greatest pictures on their websites, but when you look at a wedding from start to finish, the consistency is not there, and those perfect shots are 1 in 20. Mm-hmm. So I would look for that. And then the third most important thing is don't settle for a wedding package. Get what you dream of, because according to the Knot.com and the Wedding Wire from the last couple of years, it's the greatest regret of all brides is not hiring the photographer they want with the amount of hours and products that they wanted. Mm-hmm. So I would say at that point, once you pick her or him, don't walk yourself down a couple $100 just to save it, because in the long run, that's a choice you can't ever get back.
True. So budget bigger.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, if someone were looking to get into the field, and even maybe more specifically the niche that you cover, what would you advise them? You said that you have actually you've done workshops, you've spoke to people. What were some of the insights you provided?
So going to these, like WPPI down in Vegas, is phenomenal. It's a great resource to start. They're really pricey to get in, so you have to save up. You're always looking at a few $1,000s. Mm-hmm. Miraco's workshop was, it was great. It was totally great. And she does a bunch. That's for beginners, for people building a business. And then she does some on empowering women with photography. And she's a really good resource as well. But they're very pricey. I actually went and taught a seminar at Idaho Camera, and I have a very, I think unique is a nice way to put it, brain, that I don't learn systems and patterns like most people do, and the actual technical side of the camera jumbled me for years. And the way that I developed learning it and the graphs and charts that I created as a learning source, I presented at this thing, And after the class, I was almost in shock at the amount of people that were clamoring kind of around the little pulpit thingy, talking to me, saying, I've never understood that till now. I've never understood this till now. And it made me think, man, there's a lot of people out there that don't have the most technical savvy mind and need to learn it as a light value and a shadow value art source. And that's how I taught it. So I'm actually working on a book right now to present that. Miriko's class was a help because she teaches along the same line as that. It's not like you're going to get 10,000 acronyms thrown at you and not understand what any of them meant.
Mm-hmm.
She teaches more on a, look at this photo, let me explain to you why it looks the way it does, which makes more sense to me. So that helps.
Wonderful. Now, you're working on this book. Do you have any plans for when you will have that ready for the masses?
Well, I know that hopefully, this fall, I'll be launching actual classes and seminars. I have about 5 or 6 people on the list right now, excited and waiting. But it's going to be like a weekend class for 6 hours a day, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And we'll have models and samples and practices. The book itself should be done and hopefully launched by this coming spring, so 1 year from now.
Wonderful. What else is in store for Lindy Photography?
Well, okay, so I have kind of a 5-year hope. A plan is I'd really like to end up in Hawaii and be doing weddings year-round instead of just the little 5 to 6 month Boise Valley Frenzy wedding season. And then from there, I would really like to launch nationally and step up and travel the world doing my photography. But the classes are the next biggest step for me to teach people, because I just, when you take on a camera and you're doing your art as your career, it is empowering and it's peaceful and it gives you a sense of direction in life that you didn't have till then. So the classes, I really hope to allow people to learn how to quickly build a business, to support themselves through their art.
That's amazing. So if people want to get a hold of you, they may not be able to book you until a year out, but if they want to get a hold of you for that or the classes, what are the best ways to reach out?
Well, the easiest, if you go to my website, it has a wealth of knowledge. I redesigned it and rebuilt it this last fall. So it is just brand new and beautiful. There is links with my phone numbers and ways to email me directly from it. Other than that, I would just give me a call or shoot me a text, and my number is all over my website, and it's, I don't know, do you want it?
Yes, please.
It's 208-713-5169, and I'm really good at texting and answering emails.
Perfect. And we will have all those contacts on the website, all the links. But I encourage everyone to go to lindyphotography.com. It is a beautiful site. There's lots of fun stuff. You have a blog that you update frequently. Lots of great, and there's, of course, then there's the portfolios and the layouts that are just amazing. So
thank you.
I encourage everyone, definitely go there. Lindy, thank you so much for being on the show.
All right, thanks.
You've had a wonderful and compelling story, and our listeners, I'm sure, enjoyed every part of your insights. And to our audience, thank you for listening. Now get out there and build something beautiful. Until next time, take care.